So, welcome back to Sodium Haze, the channel where we confront the more egregious lies of the corporate media and the usual suspects from a socialist and anti-war perspective. Today, I bring you shock news. Keir Starmer confirmed as a Satanist. Not really. He's not really a Satanist. You see, I don't like Keir Starmer, and I don't like his careerist political agenda. But I'm not going to tell you lies about Keir Starmer to try and advance my agenda, because I try as far as I can, as far as anybody could, to try to tell the truth. The truth is extremely important to me. That's why this channel exists. But Keir Starmer is happy to tell lies in service of his political career, and that's why he's telling lies about Jeremy Corbyn. And that's part of why he's a Tory, but we'll come back to that. Jeremy Corbyn is not a racist. I know he's not a racist. You know he's not a racist. Keir Starmer knows he's not a racist. Everybody in the Labour Party knows he's not a racist. Only the most astonishingly self-deluded fools could possibly imagine that a man with Jeremy Corbyn's fierce and long-standing, unwavering commitment against racism, which far exceeds Starmer's or any of his hangers-on and the neighbours, could possibly imagine that Jeremy Corbyn is a racist. So Keir Starmer knows that Jeremy Corbyn is not a racist, but it suits him and it suits his entourage of people who go along to get along, in politics, to extend the fiction that Jeremy Corbyn is a racist. And you see, that's what marks the difference between me and Keir Starmer. I'm not a liar, and Keir Starmer is a liar. But that's not the only difference. The other difference is that I am a socialist and Keir Starmer is a Tory. Now, so Keir Starmer is a liar and he's a Tory. Now, everybody knows what a liar is, and there are people that disagree with me that Keir Starmer is a liar, and there are people that will agree with me. But I think it's very hard, given what we know, given the lies he's telling about Jeremy Corbyn and the pack of lies he told to the Labour Party membership to get elected. A whole bunch of promises about unity and broad church and other nonsense, none of which he ever had any intention of sticking to. That the man is a liar. But what do we mean? What do I mean when I call Keir Starmer a Tory? What does it mean to be a Tory? And to explain that, I'm going to deploy a little bit of philosophy and go back, because Tories have always been with us. There were Tories in ancient Greece, and there were Tories in all the intervening years, because a Tory is someone who believes that there are no ethical rules, that there are no boundaries of behaviour, and that such things are for suckers. They're for little people, not for people who realise that there are no rules, and that the rules are there only to be garnered in the advantage of those who have the power to make them. Excuse me. So, in Plato's writing, in his famous book, The Republic, we find a character called Thrasymachus, and Thrasymachus is just like Keir Starmer, but the thing is about Thrasymachus is he at least was honest in a way that Keir Starmer is not, about the fact of his own sophistry. This is what we call people like Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is a sophist. Now, in conversation with Socrates, Socrates was explaining the rational basis for morality, and why morality and doing the right thing was the best thing for human beings to be doing. And Thrasymachus was both incredulous and angry and outraged, and took Socrates to one side and said, look here, Socrates, you're talking absolute nonsense. Everybody knows that there are no rules, and you're talking complete piffle. And the rules are only there for the stupid little people to follow. They're all suckers, and the clever The right thing to do for people is to pretend to follow the rules, but actually set the rules for your own advantage and then break them and get away with it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the working definition of a Tory. Tories have no moral values, they have no principles, they have no commitment to truth. They don't care about anyone else, they just care about the game and about winning. They care about fiddling the rules to their own advantage whenever they can. And in those rare circumstances where they can't do that, they will break the rules with impunity, and their only concern being, will they be able to get away with it, or will they be able to launch a cover-up? And Keir Starmer is exactly that kind of person, and so are all his entourage and enablers and spivs and spavs. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about the truth. They don't give a damn about the rules. They all know that Jeremy Corbyn is not a racist. Doesn't matter. It's a convenient lie, and so they use it. The trouble is with the world today, and it's been the trouble that has plagued humanity for centuries, thousands of years, is there are always a cabal of people willing to go along to get along. Whatever the lie is, whatever the misrepresentation, whatever the sneer, it doesn't matter. There are always people willing to cheat the system in service of what they think is their own self-interest. As Socrates proved that it wasn't their self-interest, but I'll come back to that. Now, this is why I despise The Guardian so much, and exactly the same reason, because The Guardian is there as part of an overarching system of people like Keir Starmer and his enablers, and like the Tories and their enablers, and like the corporate media and their enablers, and like those people of elite wealth and power and their enablers. You go along with this establishment and you get along. And if you oppose them, if you make it clear, actually, you're not going to go along with their lies, whatever they're about, be they about Israeli war crimes in Palestine, or be about the copious lies about the lead up and conduct of the Ukraine war, or be about Saudi Arabian war crimes in Yemen, or whatever it is. If you indicate, as Jeremy Corbyn did repeatedly, that he was not for sale, that is his crime. He indicated to the establishment of people who are all jostling for advantage and make it clear that I'll play along with the game. I have no principles. I don't care about the truth. I'm prepared to play along with this game. No problem. I'm one of you. Jeremy Corbyn made it clear, I'm not one of you, and I'm not prepared to play this game. So I'm going to carry on speaking out about the truth. And that's why they hate him. That's why he had to be got rid of, and that's why they were terrified of him actually getting a government elected, because it was just the half a chance that he might actually begin to use a phrase which is common these days, drain the swamp. And that these people, these grifters, they should have no place in public life. In fact, they dominate public life. They're everywhere, and they completely control every aspect of it. And when they lose a little corner of it, they get extremely anxious. And this is exactly why Jeremy Corbyn had to be done away with, because he wasn't for sale to lobbyists. He wasn't for sale to the usual suspects. I said yesterday to those remaining socialists and people in principle that are still in the Labour Party that it was time to leave. It's actually been saying this for about a part of 3 years. It's long overdue that you left. But let me double down on that, and let me tell you specifically why you should leave Labour, why you should leave now. Because it's not fit for purpose, it's beyond redemption, and you need to start again with your own political party. Here's why. Here's the detail of why that is so. Do not underestimate the staggering cynicism and the slyness of someone like Starmer and his entourage. They have absolutely zero commitment to the truth. They will say anything to advance their agenda, and they have no interest in the common good whatsoever. None. They don't care about you. They don't care about the country. They don't care about patriotism. All they care about is winning. I mean, it was said, I forget who it was that said it, but in politics there are no friends, we're all sharks circling. Never a truer word spoken about British politics. And these sharks, they feed on each other, they feed on you, but they're all in the game, and all they care about is winning. I've no doubt that Keir Starmer, will now get elected. He'll have the full weight of the corporate media behind him. They clearly want him, and they've been the Guardian and all the usual suspects have been puffing him ever since it became clear that he was their realistic challenger, the person to get rid of the menace that was Jeremy Corbyn. They want him because he's one of them. He is someone who was identified very clearly over and over again, that he will say whatever is required, in service of the game, the sophistry game of elite power, and he will never stand up for principle for anyone. Not for Palestine, not for Yemen, not for the poor, not for anyone. He's one of them, and they understand that, and so they're going to back him. And no doubt he'll win the next election with Labour, with the full weight of the corporate media behind him. And when he does, his only interest, once he's in power, will be to retain it, to gain more power, and to gain the position and the advantage that he has, the levers of power, for his own self-interest, his own self-advantage. That's it. Never underestimate the depth of cynicism of the man and the depth of cynicism of those people around him. They'll say anything, they'll tell any lie. If you have the slightest trace of morality about you, the slightest trace of self-respect, the slightest commitment to truth, it is time to leave the Labour Party. It's finished. They are back. They've got control of all of the levers. They will now swiftly till every table, tell every lie, twist every truth in order to tighten their grip on power and extend their power. And the Labour Party will now say whatever pack of a bundle of lies that they think will get them over the finishing line of the next election. Nothing more, nothing less. So that means pandering to, the racists and the anti-immigration dog whistle. That's what they do. If it means sucking up to big business, that's what they do. If it means sucking up to, Middle England and promising them tax cuts and big pensions and all the rest of it, that's what they'll do. If it means saying, promising the world to working class people in northern cities and all the rest of it, that's what they do. None of it's true. All lies. These people have no principles, and because the reason for that is they are Tories. They're not people of principle. They're Tories. They are people who were there for their own self-interest, to play the game and to play their own games, and that's it. And if you believe otherwise, if you think that these people can be redeemed, or if you believe there's some way of gaming them, don't become them in order to try and defeat them. The corpse of the Labour Party is not worth wrestling with. So if you're thinking, I don't know, Sergio Hayes, come on, that's a bit harsh. These people are such a commitment to the Labour Party, blah blah blah. Why? I ask you this: why do you think people like Starmer and his crew are in Labour in the first place? They are in Labour because they think it's their best bet to get what they want. That's it. The reason that they're not in the Lib Dems and the reason that they're not in the Tory party are slightly different, but they're the same reason, because they don't think it's in their self-interest to be in either. They're not in the Tory party because they don't think that they could get a candidacy in the Tory party. You've got to understand that the Tory party is something of a closed shop. In order to become a Tory party candidate, it's not, of course, naturally, there are no tests for intellect or competency or probity or or principle. The Tories, as the Tory party, has none. The Tories have none. What you need to do is to demonstrate that you'll go along to get along. Now, while these people are capable of doing that, what they don't have is what you need to get along in the Tory party. You need to know the right people. And you need to be born into the right families and the right class and have gone to the right universities and blah blah blah. And they don't do that. So they were looking for another vehicle to power where they could act like Tories, because they knew that they couldn't get in the Tory party. And since British politics offers a binary choice, it's a rigged first past the post system. You either plump for the Tories or for Labour, and so they're in Labour. I assure you, these people like Starmer, They're in Labour as a vehicle of convenience, nothing more, nothing less. How do you imagine that people like Boris Johnson and Natty Doris, and Jacob Rees-Mogg and all of the other people who were some of the most just staggeringly useless, corrupt, immoral people you could ever wish to meet. How do you imagine they gain a Tory candidacy? Because it's the accident of their birth. They have nothing else. And Starmer knew, I mean, he claims to come from a working class background, and perhaps he does. I mean, there's no chance of him being an actual Tory then. So his only option, and the option of people like him and the people who jog alongside him, is to turn the principles of the Labour Party upside down or on their head, and turn it into a vehicle for grifters in exactly the same way that the Tory Party is, and that is exactly what they have done. I say it loudly, I say it long, for the love of God, if you have anything about you at all, any moral bone in your body, get out of the Labour Party today. Don't give it another second of your time, your energy, or your money. Leave. Set up your own party. And, if you offer people a genuinely principled alternative, if people can see you're for real, this electorate in many ways is so weary of being lied to time and time again. That was why Brexit was so popular, was because people thought it was a way of cutting through the lies of the political class, which was seen as being all of a piece, quite rightly, you know, and but if you actually offer people a genuinely principled alternative, there is always the chance, a good chance, I think, of that people will vote for it, and you can actually start a democratic process towards something so much better than we have now. What's the alternative? Just to go along to get along like all the rest of them? What's that going to change? Nothing. If you don't stand by your principles, if you don't try to win the argument, if you don't actually stand beside truth and try and advance that, then what on earth are you doing in politics anyway? Don't become, don't join the game as it stands, because the game as it stands, it's not worth playing. Okay, that's it. Rant over. I apologise for the clickbait headline. Keir Starmer, to be clear, is not a Satanist, and I never thought he was a Satanist for a moment. What Keir Starmer is a liar and a Tory, and everyone who sells with him is also a liar and a Tory, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's it, friends. Goodbye, and we'll see you in the next one. If you could just trundle down and subscribe to our channel, that would be lovely. Bye bye.